Ms. Stickney, would you go ahead and do the roll call?
Miss Berry,
Present.
Miss Casper,
Present.
Mr. Hammonds,
Present.
Mr. Havrilla,
Here.
Miss Myers,
Here.
Mr. Vella.
Here. Okay. And Ms. Stickney, did we post the agenda in accordance with the Open Meetings Act?
Yes, we did.
Mr. Webb, did we have any public comments?
No public comments.
Okay, we are, in the interest of time, I'm going to go to item 3D as in Delta, consideration possible action to accept the Epic Charter School financial audit for 2024-25.
Sorry, Chris Gullickson with Bledsoe Hewitt and Gullickson, your audit firm. School audit law requires school districts to have an independent financial statement audit. This was our first year contracting with you guys to perform that audit. This is for last year, the 24-25 fiscal year. This is kind of the final requirement as part of that audit process that I go over the audit, make sure the board members have copies of the audit, discuss any findings, take any questions you may have. I'm going to summarize things on just a handful of pages here, but feel free to stop me if you have questions or would like to elaborate on anything. If you're following along, page 14 is where I like to start the audit. And it's safe to assume you all do have copies, I assume digital copies of the audit. Okay. Page 14 is basically a summary page of the 3 different audit reports we include in the audit. Item number 1 is with respect to our very first report, an independent auditor's report. This is basically your very standard audit opinion on the financial statements. It says in there that the school district's responsibility is to provide accurate financial statements. Our job is to apply government auditing standards and give an opinion on whether those financial statements are presented fairly or not. We apply different government auditing procedures, professional judgment, sampling, assessing risk, considering internal control to form our opinion. And we actually have 2 different opinions, an adverse opinion with respect to the financial statements in conformity with GAAP accounting, generally accepted accounting principles. Basically, that means they're not presented on a GAAP basis. They're presented on a regulatory format. This is what the regulatory format's what's prescribed by the State Department of Education, and it's different than normal GAAP accounting. That's no different than it's been for Epic. That's no different than 99% of the schools in Oklahoma. There's probably only a handful of schools that actually do true GAAP. Everybody else does this regulatory format that the State Department likes. So with respect to that regulatory format, we issued an unmodified opinion, which is the highest opinion we could give. It means we believe the financial statements in the audit are presented accurately and fairly. There were no material adjustments needed. So, an outstanding opinion with respect to the financial statements themselves. Items 2 and 3 are related to the second report we have in the audit, a report on internal control and compliance. Basically, since this is a governmental audit, the main job is to give an opinion on that financial statements. But if we identify any weaknesses in internal controls or areas of noncompliance, that's the report we would outline that in. Basically, this is where your audit findings would typically be, is in that report. But we did not identify any material weaknesses, significant findings to the financial statements. Sometimes we have some lesser findings. We'll include in a management letter or something like that. But there was nothing in this audit that the board needs to have any corrective action on. It was a really outstanding audit. I won't lie. I hold my breath when we walk into a new client, no matter who you are. It's no secret Epic's had some difficulties over the last several years, so I probably was a little more nervous, but it really went smooth. The staff was all available to us. Mostly the finance staff is obviously who we're dealing with, but everybody was cooperating with all of our requests. We were given our own login to the accounting software and grant management for federal programs. Basically, we could go in there and see any transaction we liked and run reports how we like. And so I'm really thankful for their cooperation with the audit. It made things go really smooth, and I was really happy with how it all worked out. So the rest of the items on here are related to the federal program. part of the audit. Since you expend a certain amount of federal dollars, it kicks you into kind of another audit tier where we have to give an opinion on the financial or on the federal spending, and put a CFA financial statement in there. Excuse me. We issued an unmodified report with respect to the major federal programs, which was Title I, Title II, and Indian Education. Usually title money and special education, sometimes Indian Ed, are going to be those major federal dollars for EPIC. Title II was kind of another one I just threw in there this year to kind of hit a certain threshold of dollars that we tested. We tested about 50% of your federal dollars. And again, there were no findings with respect to those. Probably next year, special ed will be audited as major rather than Title I, or, we kind of rotate those usually on about a 3-year basis. So the financial statements themselves, page 15 is a basic balance sheet. The first column there, your general fund, cash, and fund balance. You guys at June 30 had $41 million in cash in the bank, but about $30 million of that, as you know, was your short-term loan that you took out just before the end of last year, just before June 30th. And then after considering open purchase orders and checks that hadn't cleared, the carryover balance was $2.1 million. The next page over is an income statement, kind of showing a breakdown of how you got to that 2.1 million. And actually, if we flip over one more page, page 17, there's kind of a comparison. I like this one a little better because that third column is your actual revenues and expenditures. And then that far right column is the prior year, the FY24 year, just kind of for comparison purposes. Total revenues went down last year from 266 million to 257 million. Expenditures stayed relatively the same, 299 million the previous year, 298 million. In FY24, you already had a kind of a fiscal year deficit of about 32 million. And then since, collected a little bit less in 25, spent the same, that deficit increased a little more. So that's where that carryover number down there at the bottom decreased from 43 million down to the 2 million, obviously, where that cash flow loan was needed. So I don't kind of want to beat a dead horse on the balance going down, but the staff in the note disclosures address that decrease in fund balance as a note disclosure, just as part of our subsequent event testing and kind of gaining an understanding of where you are today. I feel confident that it's been addressed, and it sounds like on schedule to have that loan paid off on its terms, if not sooner. So that's really great. Let's see. The rest of the pages, next about 15 pages, are just the note disclosures. Really, this is all the same language in all school audits, definitions, terms, accounting policies. It does have a breakdown of your fixed assets in those notes, and there is a note disclosure, like I mentioned, about the loan and the fund balance decrease. Page 35 is the CFA, or Schedule of Expenditures of Federal Awards. This is that financial statement I mentioned as part of that federal program, part of the audit. Shows each federal program the district was awarded and what you expended. You had a total of just over 17 million in total federal expenditures. And again, like I mentioned, just about 50% of that is what we tested as major: Title I, Title II, and Indian Ed. But for what it's worth, that's what that page has. And then the next page over, page 36, is just a little more detailed version of that CFA. It also includes how much you actually received on those federal dollars. Since those federal programs are done on a reimbursement basis, you have to spend it before you get it. There's kind of a timing gap between what you actually receive and what you expended. Some of your revenue was actually from 24 expenditures. Some of your 25 expenditures weren't received here until 26. Really, that's about all I've got for my audit. But again, I just kind of want to thank the staff that we worked with during this process to kind of make everything go real smooth. And we're certainly happy to work with you again if the board would like. So, questions or
thank you.
concerns?
And just to reemphasize, the only adverse opinion was something that every other school except for 4 or 5 in the state do. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, it's basically just because it's an audit. We have to address GAAP accounting, but since it's not on a GAAP basis, that's why it's adverse. But it's like everybody else.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Comments? Thank you very much, sir. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Have a good night.
So I would entertain a motion to accept the Epic School financial audit for 2024-25 as it was just presented.
So moved. Second.
Miss Barry,
Yes.
Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes. Thank you. And we will go back to the beginning. Superintendent Spotlight.
Thank you, Board Chair, distinguished board members. Appreciate you guys as always. I would like to highlight Zane and Zelny Henderson today.
I am a competitive dancer. I've been dancing since I was 2 years old.
I play hockey. Been doing it since I was 4 years old.
It's something I can always look forward to when I'm having a bad week.
I played at a competitive level and I left to go pursue my dream of playing college hockey.
Zane's Hockey Academy is actually located in New Hampshire.
Leave in August and we live there until March.
Epic has been an avenue to support them in their passions where they can focus on academics and extracurriculars.
Twice a week I go to Math Plus. It's really changed the way I learn and how I retain my information. My test scores have gone far up.
Some weeks maybe we're grinding on school and we're getting ahead in a unit because we know, oh, well, next week I've got 3 extra rehearsals, we're learning choreography, or we're gonna be on the bus for 5 hours.
As long as I have my laptop with me, people who can travel, but they can still have access to their curriculum anywhere.
At the beginning of the school year, Miss McCutcheon had a high school 1-hour meeting where she did the check-in with the kids. They would see each other every week, even though he's in New Hampshire and she's here in Oklahoma. That was an opportunity for them to kind of connect and kind of be in school together, even though they're 1,700 miles apart.
Epic has definitely helped me be able to continue my dance journey. It's even like given me opportunities to go and travel to see my brother and go watch him play.
Is that all you got?
I will come back on for superintendent report. Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much for that. Committee reports. Do we have anything from governance? Hearing none?
Sorry. No.
That's all right. Mike, anything on the audit committee?
We mostly discussed what we just heard from the auditor, and then we talked about the line of credit and possible payoffs and early projections and whether that would be possible.
And I would just reiterate or add to that we were looking at whether we could pay off the loan now, whether we should, or some other way of paying it off early because we were in a much better position financially than we were. And of course, we don't want to get caught, in a situation again. So we're going to be very cautious about doing that for the other board members. But that is something that the staff is looking at, that the interest alone could save basically a position here at Epic. So, okay. Anything else, Mike?
That's it.
Okay. Next is consideration and possible action to reappoint board member. What's that name? I can't read that. Trevor Hammonds to a 3-year term to start on March 9th, 2026. Mr. Webb.
Can you believe it's been 3 years?
No, I cannot.
And you really want to do this again?
I do.
We appreciate that.
Yep.
Just that time of year, we're gonna have several people up this year, and I think Sarah's gonna be coming up shortly as well. She's been here for 3 years. But this is your opportunity. You get to vote up or down on the chair, and see if you want him back. And if so, he'll be back for another 3-year term.
I move that we nominate Trevor for another 3 years. Second.
Miss Berry, was that you second?
Yes.
Okay. Miss Berry,
Yes.
Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Abstain.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I'm just saying thank you. It's been a tough year.
Yeah,
So I
appreciate that. Thank you. Yay. Thank you very much. It's been interesting. Never boring. Consideration and possible action on student transfer capabilities, enrollment caps. Michael Flory.
So this is something we have to do quarterly as a part of our reporting. District capacity by grade level. We did have a wind change. I don't know if Brandon's paying attention there, but we need to change the date to March 1st rather than April 1st.
Yeah, that'll simply be up to the board. April 1st is the deadline when we have to report it for the quarterly. If you choose, these numbers can go into effect April 1st. If you want to choose a different date, say March 1st, you're welcome to do that as well.
Okay.
Did you want to explain kind of why the numbers changed?
As far as the totals go,
Yes.
well, the totals really didn't change. I was just mentioning the date. But when we get into state testing time, that's when we start to reach our capacity. Historically, we've dwindled enrollment and capped it to give our teachers that opportunity to focus on their students, and really don't have much time to, bring them in, do the IOP, get them tested, that sort of deal. So, and this was something we did last year as well.
Yeah, just reiterate what Michael said. Just kind of a soft cap. We did it last year. Last year it was a little harder, and there was a little more urgent need to set those numbers, and it worked well. And it was something that the state charter board kind of recommended last year, and we're going to go ahead and try to extend this another year if the board would like us to.
We might reiterate this will not close us out for siblings or other certain circumstances. We would still have opportunity to intake children, like it's highlighted. It's in its attempt to give us a closing window to finish out the year correctly, to give us our best opportunity to support the kids that we've got in house and not overextend ourselves in any number of capacities that we potentially could.
And those are, I'm having a hard time pulling up my actual documents. Those are by grade. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's correct.
And that there is no bright line rule. Is that what you're saying? It's kind of a soft, this is where we think we need to be, or if we start approaching these numbers.
Right. This, you've got the flexibility to change this if you want to. As we said, this is normally something for April 1st. If you want it to start now, we can start it early, put that into place, and if you need to modify it at any time, we can.
And
Is there a preference between March and April?
Yeah. So what's the purpose? What's the reasoning between the two different dates?
That really gives time. Well, let me back up. I think they mentioned this. So adult ed, siblings, students returning maybe that were truant. But this gives our teachers time as they prepare for state testing to take those students in and address their needs versus when we get into state testing time, which is later on.
Your main difference would be roughly 3 weeks total. March is a truncated month, as is with spring break throughout. Again, it's just more runway time. April 1st, that deadline would put us closer to the testing window opening for OSTP, which would then shorten our ability for students that we do serve that could come with a special ed IEP, 504, or other supports that would need to kind of cascade into effect before that testing window began.
Michael, are you still classifying pathways as grade 13, and are they excluded?
Grade 13 would be OAP. So
okay.
yeah,
Where's pathways fall?
they're condensed into grade 12.
12. Okay.
Yeah. And so we also see early graduates as you go throughout the year.
So is it is it the school's recommendation that March 1st, April 1st would be okay, but March 1st is better overall?
I believe that would be the recommendation, yes. Again, just for more runway for the staff, knowing that this is a soft window, as Mr. Webb indicated.
And what does our current enrollment look like, if you know?
Today's off the top of my head, 31,030.
Yes, that was 31,200, 31,300. It's been since 8 this morning. I apologize.
Okay. So, any other questions? So I'd entertain a motion to, effective March 1st, put in the enrollment caps as suggested by this agenda item.
So moved.
Second.
Miss Berry,
Yes.
Did you have a March 1st date?
Correct.
That's correct.
Miss Berry,
Yes.
Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Next item is consideration and possible action to approve the 2026-2027 school year calendar. Justin Hunt.
Which you did last month. But a wise person once told me, when you make a mistake, that you own it. And I will own the mistake that one of our professional development days was also listed as a day out of office, which is Memorial Day. So we had to change our professional development days to where we will not be requiring PD training on Memorial Day. So just one small change. Doesn't affect the actual student calendar of instructional days, just affects the fact that nobody's going to be getting training on Memorial Day. So that's the change, and I apologize for the error.
We will overlook it at this time. However, I do have kind of an ignorant question. So like Norman they're going back 2 minutes longer every day to make up for the school days, being a virtual school. And I know we had some people not here. Are we going to have to extend this calendar at all because of said school days?
No.
Thank you.
The students were always in session. It was just some of the employees, we had some dangerous
Right.
locations and didn't.
That's what I
Require-
figured, but
yeah.
thought I'd ask. So I'd entertain a motion to approve the 26-27 school year calendar as modified.
So moved. Second.
Miss Berry,
Yes.
Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Next is consideration and possible action to approve the consent agenda policy. Mr. Webb.
Yes, this is one of the items that you may remember from the State Charter Board audit. And in that audit, they recommended us putting together a consent agenda policy. And this is what we have before you today. In this policy, what we're going to do is we're going to start out by saying that any expenditure over $150,000, we are not going to put that in the consent agenda. Now, that doesn't mean that items below 150, we may not place them in the consent agenda, depending upon the nature and the subject of those items, and you may see a few of those in your governance or leadership and administration section. But this is going to comply with what was requested us by the State Charter Board. If you pass this, we will be able to mark one of the tallies off.
Any questions? Hearing none, would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda policy.
I move to approve the consent agenda policy.
Second.
Miss Berry,
Yes.
Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrola,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Next is consideration and possible action to approve the revised board employment decisions policy. Mr. Webb.
Yes, this action is just kind of clarifying the policy that you put in place last summer. And that policy is the board's going to make employment decisions of employees 80,000 and above. And we just wanted to make sure that everybody was clear that teachers are exempted from this. Due to the nature that teachers have a wide range of pay among them, and sometimes that pay can fluctuate during the year. We just wanted to go ahead and memorialize that teachers are not part of that. That still will be a decision from the superintendent, and then the superintendent will have that hiring, firing authority for any employee under 80,000 or teachers.
Any questions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to consider to approve the revised employment of, strike that, excuse me, the revised board employment decisions policy.
So moved. Second.
Miss Berry,
Yes.
Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrola,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Okay, I was trying to sound professional and it didn't work. Read the wrong one. Next, consideration and possible action to approve the revised employment of relatives and relationships in the workplace policy. Mr. Webb.
Okay, there's just one main change on this. Originally, when you passed this last summer, the effective date was going to be June 30 of this year. We've had some issues with several title changes in departments, and we're working to see if there's going to be any more title changes in the future. So we wanted to make sure we got everybody's title put forth, get their contract issued. And once that happens in June, July, we can go ahead and see if the policy comports with the titles that have been given out, or if we need to amend the policy. So basically, this is going to give us a little more runway. It'll give us until December 31st to make sure to see who's affected and who isn't.
Any questions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the revised employment of relatives and relationships in the workplace.
So
I move to approve the revised employment of relatives and relationships in the workplace.
second.
Miss Berry,
Yes.
Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrola,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Okay. Next is superintendent report.
Again, thank you, Chairman Hammonds, and congratulations once again. Board, I would like to offer you something a little bit different this month, hopefully going forward. Instead of having to listen to me drone on, through the help of our brilliant communications teams, I've asked that we transition to a video. I would like to attract your attention to that. I present my superintendent update. EPIC students have been engaged in an array of learning activities and community service projects that included opportunities to interact with their peers from across the state. Field trips have included tours to the Myriad Botanical Gardens, Crystal Bridge, the Sam Noble Museum of Natural History, the American Pigeon Museum, the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, and the Stafford Air and Space Museums. EPIC hosted its Tulsa Area Innovators Day, where EPIC students of all ages demonstrated their ingenuity, entrepreneurial skills, and future readiness. Whether students created displays showcasing their work or not, all were invited to revel in the accomplishments of their peers. I'm also proud to say EPIC regularly volunteers at the Regional Food Bank. Students and caregivers alike jumped in to help pack boxes of goods that will be distributed to families in need across the region. As you know, EPIC serves a diverse population of students with a myriad of needs. Among those students are the athletes competing in Special Olympics bowling. Our students brought home 2 fourth-place ribbons, 3 third-place medals, 9 second-place medals, and 6 first-place medals. The Epic Academic Bowl teams have been racking up trophies as well.
Here's a quick snapshot of how our teams have been performing. I'm proud to say this even includes a state championship.
Transitioning to post-secondary opportunities. Since December, Epic has made strong and measurable progress in how we prepare students for life after graduation. And tonight's update offers just a snapshot of that work. Through our college and career readiness system, students aren't just earning diplomas. They're earning real college credit, industry credentials, and a hands-on experience while still in high school. This spring alone, students are enrolled in hundreds of concurrent college courses with statewide partners, with pass rates around 95% and some higher. More than 900 additional students are participating in TEL concurrent enrollment, and our Epic Collegiate Academy continues to graduate students with associate degrees before they finish high school. At the same time, we're scaling real-world readiness. Thousands of students are engaged in internships and work-based learning, with course pass rates nearing 100%. Our advising team has completed over 11,000 student meetings and tens of thousands of ICAP milestones to ensure every student has a clear, personalized plan. We also remain focused on access. We support FAFSA completion, scholarships, and one-on-one financial aid planning so that cost is not a barrier to opportunity. In fact, we're tracking toward 100% FAFSA completion for graduating seniors. The bottom line is, our model is intentional, comprehensive, and uncommon. We are not leaving post-secondary success to chance. We are building structured pathways, college, career, and transition so that every graduate leaves empowered, future-ready, and in demand. And that investment is one of the strongest value propositions we offer our students and families here at Epic. In January, our teachers met in their professional learning communities, PLCs, to review student progress and identify ways to better support each child following their winter benchmark assessments. Since then, our focus has been providing targeted instruction that meets the individual needs of students and helps them to feel confident and prepared for the upcoming state tests. Teachers are working very hard to make sure that our students have a clear understanding of the Oklahoma academic standards, with special attention given to the most important priority standards, ensuring that our students reach mastery. As we move into March, staff will participate in additional conversations and training to prepare for the OSTP, which is given to students across the state. Our goal is to make sure that students feel supported, prepared, and ready to show what they know. Epic Tutoring is a targeted after-school academic support program for many of our students, led by certified Epic teachers. This spring semester, we are serving nearly 120 students in grades 3 through 5 in both mathematics and reading. This effort is supported by 12 Epic teachers who receive a stipend for their work. The program was intentionally structured so that we could serve as many students as possible. The big day is coming up for Epic seniors. Students meeting the qualifications for graduation are being notified of registration details. Epic will be hosting ceremonies at the University of Tulsa on Saturday, May 23rd, as well as the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman on Saturday, May 30th. Epic graduation ceremonies are huge celebrations, and students are encouraged to register and select the ceremony they plan to attend. It's their day, but it's also a day for the entire family. We look forward to seeing the packed stadiums. Finally, I'd like to share something that we've started here at Epic. It goes without saying that we have many of the best and brightest minds in education right here within Epic Charter, but we think they deserve a little more recognition. Each month, we're taking nominations for a Teacher of the Month, and for the month of January, we've asked our MDIs to nominate a teacher who is going above and beyond to get their students future ready and in demand.
Do you mind if I interrupt for a moment? This is the first ever Teacher of the Month award that Epic Charter's given. Miss Yoko Hori, I would like to honor you as Epic Charter's January Teacher of the Month, and you were nominated by your teacher peers. And I am just so grateful and thankful not only for you guys, and obviously the work that you guys are doing for this young lady, because she's shining. And I'd like to say thank you for being a part of the Epic organization, and congratulations on being the January Teacher of the Month. Very nice to meet you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That is my superintendent update.
I have one question. Where is the American Pigeon Museum?
The American Pigeon Museum is off MLK, just south of I-44 on, I think, 63rd Street. There is not much on that road other than, I believe, at some point there was the OKC Energy semi-pro soccer practice facility. There are some playgrounds. There is also a KOA, I believe.
Okay.
Nestled between a county health department and an RV trailer park.
Excellent.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It is.
Everybody should be there and see this.
Yeah, I'm gonna. My teenage daughter will be so surprised and happy that we're going to the American Pigeon Museum this weekend. Anything else?
I will entertain any questions.
Any questions?
And that is my update.
Thank you. Finance update, Mr. Flory.
So is that a national pigeon? Okay. I'm just wondering how that ended up in Oklahoma, of all places. Okay. All right. I digress. All right. Quick reminder, in the past, if you remember from the investigative audit, they talked about closing our financials really 2 months behind. So these financials were closed out as of January 31st. So the team has really sped that along. We ended the month of January with about $48 million. We are carrying the $17.5 million line of credit. Outstanding warrants, about $3.6 million. Revenue, $143 million. And expenses to date, or as of January 31st, $115 million. So that is a fund balance of $27 million. Let's go to the next. Okay. So these numbers don't match. This is actually as of February 6th. If you can see at the top of the page from our dashboard. As of that time, we had $143 million in revenue and our cash balance was $45 million. Let's move on. On the expense side, $116 million. And I'll get into these variances you'll see in these later charts. Okay. All right. So in the past, this graph was a little hard to read, so we've condensed this down. So we're looking at budget versus actual for this fiscal year to the previous month. You'll see our budgeted revenue is $138 million. And we're running ahead of that with the actual with about $143 million. Our budgeted expenses, $134 million, and our actual expenses are $115 or almost $116 million. So both sides of that equation, we are in good shape. Let's go to the next. Okay. This is actually for January. So we're looking at January's budget. Budgeted revenue, actual revenue was right on. Budgeted expenses was nearly 19 million, and our actual was about 15 million. So we are in good shape. Hence the discussion around paying off our line of credit as we start to build that delta and save some interest expense. That I believe is it.
Any questions?
What was the big variance in expense, budget versus actual?
As far as that,
where was the big change? You would
on the expense side.
Yeah.
I would say we've budgeted a lot for mileage, learning fund expenses start to come down. So we've really just been really conservative with our monthly budgeting, especially, like I said, coming out of the previous year. It doesn't hurt to sandbag a little.
Absolutely. Thanks, Michael.
Any other questions? I would entertain a motion to accept the financial statements as presented.
I will motion to accept the financial statements as presented.
Second.
Miss Berry is left. Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Next is consideration and possible action to approve St. Francis Hospital as a new vendor for the existing lease at 6600 South Yale, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
There's no change in this contract. All you're doing is changing the title of the new landlord, just replacing that to memorialize that somebody has acquired that property, and it's a name change only.
Any questions? Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Miss Berry's left. Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Next is consideration and possible action to approve the fiscal year 26 purchase order request for Oklahoma Christian University for spring 2026 concurrent college courses. Mr. Hunt.
Sir, so what I'm about to present, F and G are going to be presented by me together. Obviously, they need separate action. Oklahoma Christian is who we utilized for our Epic Collegiate Academy students, which are the students that want to graduate with an associate's and a high school diploma at the same time. TEL, which Dr. Ross referred to both of these in his superintendent's update. TEL is how we deliver, or the vendor that we use to deliver the Oklahoma Christian courses in a virtual setting. So one goes with the other. Again, obviously they need separate action. The reason we're coming to you again, these were two POs that were presented to you for approval, probably in July or August. As we were creating this year's budget, we were forecasting what we thought would be the enrollment for the summer, the fall, and the spring of this year. We've actually had more enrollment than we anticipated, and so we have a need to increase these two POs because we have more students that have enrolled in concurrent classes than we anticipated. So it's a good problem to have.
Okay. Any questions? Does it come out of their learning fund?
Some of it does, yes. So a student attending, I believe the way it's set up, a student concurrently enrolling, that particular portion does come out of the learning fund. If they are in the Epic Collegiate Academy and want to do the associate's path, then that does not come out of their learning fund. That is an organization expense.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
What is the increased amount on those POs, Justin?
Let me check my notes, Mike. The increased amount would be roughly 42.5 for TEL and 80,000 for Oklahoma Christian.
And as I was looking at these, just information wise, are we getting charged their actual tuition rate, or is it it looks like it was a much reduced rate
Yes.
for OCU compared to what they
Yeah,
would charge?
this is a much reduced rate, which is why we've had this partnership for 3 to 4 years, because it allows open access to all of our students across the state for a fixed cost.
Excellent. Any other questions? I would initially move to approve the fiscal year 26 purchase order for Oklahoma Christian University for the spring 2026 concurrent college courses.
Second.
Miss Berry, gone. Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
And then I would consider an action to approve the fiscal year 26 purchase order request for TEL education for spring 2026 concurrent college courses.
So moved.
Second.
Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Next is consideration and possible action to approve the fiscal year 26 purchase order request to AGI Repair for 65-watt USB-C chargers. Mr. Kimball.
Okay, this is just as it states, we need chargers for devices and we are short. So we're asking for that expenditure to be approved.
These are ones that are provided to like students when they get a laptop or such?
That's correct.
Okay.
And oftentimes when they return the devices, they do not return the wires. That's just kind of a thing that gets forgotten. So
Understood. Any questions? Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Next is consideration and possible action to approve the fiscal year 26 purchase order request for iTurity for Chromebook LCD trim bezels. Mr. Kimball.
okay, so these are bezels on the Samsung units. This is an older Chromebook that we are still using. One of the things that stops us or prevents us from putting those units when they're returned back into play is cracked bezels. So we were able to find a company that would produce those at a very reasonable price, and that allow us to keep another 5,000 units in play and continue using those.
So it's cheaper to fix the bezels and put them back into service rather than purchasing a new Chromebook. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. Any questions? I would consider a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Is the factory back open?
I know it's on break for the holiday, but
It's for the year of the horse. Thank you. Sorry. Consideration possible action to approve the fiscal year 26 revised contract with Atlantic Telephone and Telegraph for mobile wireless services. Mr. Kimball.
You threw me there. AT&T.
Yeah.
So we had a PO out there to cover the line. I think we had 8,000 to 10,000 lines that were on that PO. We're now ready to cash in and bring in the next 2,000 lines. So we're just asking for that contract to be approved.
With no additional funding, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Any questions? Accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Miss Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Miss Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Consideration and possible action to approve the fiscal year 26 contract with Eagle Commvault for cloud backup software.
We had an audit that identified a weakness in our in our backup structure. And we also had a recommendation to fill that weakness from RDI, who is a company that we have used as a consulting company, a programming company for many years. And this was the software that was selected. It's used by quite a few Oklahoma school systems. This will cover a spot that we have a weakness in. A lot of our cloud data is backed up by the vendor, but the amount of time it would take if there was an incident, whether it be cyber or some kind of a data corruption, would be something that we are thinking is not something we want to deal with. We want to get the systems backed up as soon as possible, because this would affect students. This would affect the warehouse. The warehouse affects students getting goods. It would affect the Learning Fund, which is another piece of software that we own. It could affect Grades Passback, which is the automation of grades and assignments from the different curriculum into the gradebook. That saves teachers time. So we think this is a pretty critical piece that we would like to introduce into the tech stack.
Any questions? Hearing none, I would move to approve.
Second.
Ms. Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Ms. Myers,
Yes.
Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Consideration and possible action to approve fiscal year 26 contract with CDW for Google Workspace renewal amendment, price increasing, and vendor change.
Okay, first, this is the annual renewal. Google does not allow us, this is when we first started with this Google contract back in April, many years ago. They won't allow us to align that with all the other contracts to fall in line with the fiscal year, July. So here it is for a year. The 160 is what we had as an expenditure last year. There is an increase because there was a per license increase that was, it's passed on. So that's the 35,000 that you see there for the total of the 195. But this is what basically runs a school. This is single sign-on for students. This is email addresses. This is Google Drive for all of the staff and employee data and such. So a critical piece.
Any questions? I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Ms. Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Next is consideration and possible action to approve additional purchase order for fiscal year 26 contract with Telecom for E-Rate C2 equipment. Mr. Kimball. No. Sorry. I should
I'm
look
Alicia
up.
O'Donnell, so I take care of E-Rate. So E-Rate is an internet connectivity program that helps us pay for connectivity in our buildings and our physical locations. And that includes the pipe bringing in the internet, but the wireless access points, the firewalls, the switches, etc. And through that program, we're 80% funded. Most things are 80% funded. My plan this year, you can do the funding two ways. You can pay for it 100% and then send in a claim to get reimbursed, or you can have the vendor do the work. We pay our 20% or whatever's eligible, and then the vendor has to get the money from E-Rate themselves. Because of our cash flow situation this year, my plan was we just pay our part, don't pay the 100% and do the claim. We pay our part, let the vendor get theirs. We were chosen for an audit through E-Rate this year, and usually we're approved in July, August. This is the first year this has ever happened to me, and we got approved February 5th. Because of that, we had some Sophos licensing and some other licensing that we had to have at the beginning of the year. And at that point in June, July, you guys approved a PO for $455,000. The entire RFP was for $2.1 million. So remember that 80% the E-Rate pays. So anyway, we had to use that $455 PO to get the absolute necessary things and pay the 100%. Now that we are funded, we are going to be claiming, and we will get part of that money back. But we need an additional 100,000 to finish up some of the work that needs to be done. We will have to go ahead and pay the 100%, and then we will claim reimbursement once it's paid. So even on that 100,000 I'm asking for, once the work is done and we have paid it, we will claim it and get 80% back, which is 80,000. So in essence, you approved 455 at the beginning. I'm ready to make a claim for 110,000 because on our FY26 budget, we did not have the revenue piece included. So I'm asking for a budget expense of 100,000, but I'm going to claim 110. So I'm also going to increase the revenue side of our FY26 budget. And then the amount we spend that we claim going forward, I don't know that we'll get it before June 30. So, but as far as the actual FY26 budget, it washes.
Any questions? Any questions?
Do you expect the reimbursement before June 30th, did you say?
The 110 we've already paid for.
Right.
We are claiming that now, and I do expect the 110 before June 30. And then I'm asking for an additional $100,000 PO. The work between now and June, I don't look for that to come in.
That'll be collected next year.
That'll be next year, yeah.
Okay, any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Ms. Myers,
Yes.
Mr. Vella.
Yes. And before we move on to the consent agenda, I do appreciate the narratives that are on these. We have the board documents, which has the actual contracts and POs, but this with the narrative is very helpful. And I appreciate it. And I assume the board does as well. Next is the consent agenda. Are there any items which we should pull out and discuss? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as noticed.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Ms. Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes. Next is executive session. Mr. Webb.
Yes, I recommend that we go into executive session to discuss the possible employment of a contracts and purchasing specialist.
I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Ms. Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes. I think that. Are we going to the executive room? And I believe we need to have a vote to come out of executive session.
Correct.
I move we come out of executive session.
Second.
Ms. Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Ms. Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Jumping ahead. Statement of executive session. Only the board members present here at this point, absent Sarah Berry, along with Dr. Ross, newly published Dr. Ross. And I don't know why he didn't announce that in his superintendent, but newly published Dr. Ross. Brandon Webb were in executive session. Only the item listed on the agenda was discussed and no votes were taken.
Okay. I would move to offer Joseph Farini the position of contracts and purchasing specialist at $95,000 per year to start on or after February 23rd, 2026.
Second.
Ms. Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Yes.
Ms. Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
No new business.
I would consider a move to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Ms. Casper,
Yes.
Mr. Hammonds,
Yes.
Mr. Havrilla,
Absolutely.
Ms. Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Vella.
Yes.
Lynn, do you need everybody? Okay, don't get away.